All right. So, my page, and I don't know, like the background page is, the Roman version of seppuku, death before surrender. And sometimes that perhaps is a better thing to do than to surrender to the enemy, because the enemy might want to make you a slave, or torture you, or make you a slave. So sometimes it is better just to uh, end it all in the face of battle. But I was on Twitter today. I don't know if it started yesterday, but today, and I was going back and forth with a gentleman by the name. I think his name was Jay, and he's a black person. I think he's even got a physics background, perhaps, but he is rather inconsistent on certain subjects. And I've said this all the time, that woke leftism uh, promotes white guilt and black racial vendetta. It also promotes racial abuse against whites, regardless of whether you agree with it or not. Or there are some things that, again, woke, uh, its origins are, is, I guess, African American or Black American vernacular, uh, that kind of says that, was a, awareness of things. But again, people now claim awareness to things, and they claim awareness to abuse, and now they are the establishment, and it's been taken over by a moral authoritarian group that basically will try to harm you if you do or say things against the woke Taliban. These people want obedience. They don't. They don't want. They don't want conversation. They want obedience. But I felt this gentleman uh, was rather inconsistent in his views, because he said it's not all about race, and he was to a degree he was um, promoting his own racial consciousness and his own racial awareness, but he would deny me the same things. And then there were questions he did not ask. I asked him questions, and he did not answer them. The last question I think I asked him was, if black folks can be aware of their black African diaspora, can white people, people of European descent, be aware of their European diaspora and the things that happen with regards to that? And I've also mentioned this, and I mention it again. Uh, Certain African countries kicked out all of their whites, and then these same Africans that supported kicking whites out will go to white countries, or predominantly white countries, and then claim oppression in these countries, like what's going on in the UK. And if you mention this, it's considered, I guess, to a degree, to be a hate crime. And hate crimes are primarily a thing that only whites can commit, particularly on social media. All other groups can, particularly if they're saying something against whites, they could get away with it. But of course, even if you talk about certain crimes and certain behaviors, you are forbidden to have any knowledge or awareness. It's considered, I guess, taboo, you know? Um, and I guess that's kind of strange to me. It's rather unfair. And I try to follow the the YouTube guidelines on the things that are allowed to say. And the reason they're not allowed to be said, I think, is primarily due to what they believe to be hate speech. And it's hate speech that you really don't like, and that is conscious in a certain direction. And I think egotism and narcissism play a big role in the deciding factor in that, on certain subjects. Anyway, I'll go more into this detail later. But I just wanted to kind of put things out there and just, like I said, a lot of times people that you're dealing with, particularly on the left side of the things, will, and I don't know what the psychological or ideological thing is with them, but they will not necessarily answer questions directly, and they won't, like I said, they don't acknowledge, they don't see, to a degree, perhaps their own hypocrisy. And I've said this before, hypocrisy is abuse, and hypocrites are abusers. Anyway, this has been Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below if you gain anything from it. Thank you for listening.